Meron po yung uniform arithmetic. Meron din siyang geometric. This is similar to the ones taught under your other math subjects where you talked about the uniform arithmetic progression and geometric progression. I do not know which particular math subject you must have taken the same topic. So when we say unwitty, pare-pareho, no? In the gradient series, hindi siya pare-pareho. There would be an increase. So what's the difference between the two? When we talk of the uniform arithmetic, an increase in value from one period to the next is characterized by a constant amount. Shall we say 10 pesos, 100 pesos? And when we say geometric, increase in value from one period to the next is characterized by a percentage. The particular discussion of the gradient series reminds me of the former dean, always of the former dean of the College of Engineering, saying that if he had one regret in life, that's the time he considered his first job, him not being able to predict what is likely to happen in the future. So ang pinili daw niya, mas mataas na sweldo. Not realizing that the increase in pay in the years to come, whether that is uniform arithmetic or geometric, will definitely make a difference in the amount of pay you may expect to receive in the future. Sabi niya, I was offered so many jobs as ChemEng, licensed ChemEng siya. Siyempre, sabi niya, very normal to any man to consider yung mas malaki ang base pay. Hindi ko lang na-predict na yung susweldohin ko pala na mas malaki, ang idadagdag doon, linear. Kumbaga ba, the progression is linear. Sabi niya, most of my friends had considered work not as high, doon daw sa na-receive niya, pero nung after how many years, realizing they made millions daw as against him, modest. Kasi ang pinili po niya teaching. Former din siya ng engineering. He came from Adamson University. Pero, malaki din naman yung sinisweldo niya. Sabi nga lang niya, hindi ka pareho ng mga kaklase niya. Kasi yung mga classmates, they made millions kasi daw ang increase in pay is geometric. So, let us try to evaluate a gradient series. So, when we say uniform arithmetic, ito siya. Supposing you would be asked to find the value of P where, let us consider only 4 years. Why 4? 4 so that we may validate if the formula is working. That is, we can make use of the PNF relationship, compute for the value of P, and it is only in that way that we may be able to say whether the formula for the gradient series is working. So supposing I have 100, 110, 120, and 130 in the series of receipts. So this is a gradient series falling under the uniform arithmetic. Try to see the difference between the first and the second, a difference of 10. Try to see the difference with that of the second and the third, and there is also a difference of 10. The difference from the third to the fourth would also have a difference of 10. So if the difference from one period to the next period is given by a constant value, then we would say we are considering a uniform progression. How then do we solve for the value of P given this? This original cash flow diagram may be broken down into two sub-cash flow diagrams. First, to get the base value, that is the value at time 1. So that is 100. So A here is 100. Meaning, kahit nasa gradient na po, hindi pa rin mawawala si unwitty. Then we have the second sub-cash flow diagram. Try to take a look at the original cash flow diagram where you have 100 at time 1. Then you ask, if I have 100 at the original cash flow diagram and I have 100 in the first cash flow diagram, what is that amount unaccounted for? Then the answer would be 0, because you have 100 in the original and you have 100 in the first cash flow diagram. If you have 110 in the original cash flow diagram and you have 100 in the first step cash flow diagram, then again you ask the same question. What is that amount unaccounted for? Then you would have 10. Asking the same question for 3 and 4, then you would have 20 and you would have 30. So this is 10, 20, 30. So this is 0. The structure, 0 value at time 1, 10 at time 2, 20 at time 3, and 30 at time 4 is a structure we are looking for so that we can make use of the formula for the gradient series. Now we take a look at the two sub cash flow diagram. If we get to combine them, that is, we place a plus amount. Then the two sub cash flow diagram, combining them would yield to the same value of the original cash flow diagram. So, trying to find P sub 0, we only have to make use of A, finding P given A, I percent N, then we would have G, finding P given G, I percent N. Most of the books would make use of the big G. It does not matter for as long as you understand. G here represents the gradient value. So for the formula, we would have this as A, 1 plus I raised to N minus 1, I, 1 plus I raised to N. That is the uniform series present word factor. For the gradient series, this is given by G over I, 1, tatanggal ang sandali lang. 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 over I minus N, 1 plus I raised to N. So substituting values, we would have as A, supposing I is 10%, then we would have 1.1. For the annuity, we count the number of arrows. No, it is safe to simply count the number of arrows because of the deferred annuity. Kasi kung ang titignan mo yung time, baka maligaw ka. So in annuity, we count the number of arrows. Since we have 4 arrows of 100, so this becomes 4 minus 1.1, 1.1 raised to 4. Hindi ko pala na-substitute dun sa A. So A here is 100. Then we would have G is 10. Where did we get 10? That is the difference with that of the expected receipt for time 2 as against time 1, time 3 as against time 2. So this is 0.1. 1.1 raised to 4 minus 1. 0.1 minus 4. 1.1 raised to 4. Okay, so will you please be kind enough to give me Sir Abing the first, that is that of 100, and Miss Pictain the second. I do not know if Miss Aranyas is around already. Wait. Ang nakuha mo, Sir
Ma'am,
Abby?
316.98 po.
So this one, ano?
Opo.
0.98. Second,
ma'am.
ma'am. Irma?
Ma'am, akin ano? Ma'am, akin 40.90. Kasama na po itong nandito. Yung 1/1.10 raised to 4.
43.78. Pakiulit, ma'am. Raised to 4.
Kung 6.1. 43.78, ma'am.
Tama.
Opo.
We combine. Yan na siya. Plus 316.98. 360.76.
Yes, ma'am. Tama po.
Let us try to find out if we had arrived at the correct answer. So let us have, let us check. Gamit tayo ng ibang color. So P is 100, 1.1 negative 1 plus 110, 1.1 negative 2 plus 120, 1.1 negative 3 plus 130, 1.1 negative 4. Will you please give me 100, Sir Abing? Miss Pigtain, 110. Miss Aranyas, 120. I'll take 130. So, mabilis tayo. sa akin.
Ma'am, yung sa akin po, 90.91.
Sa akin din, ma'am, 90.90.
90.90 kay Sir Abing. Sa'yo, Ma'am Pigtain.
90.91, ma'am.
90.91. Miss Aranyas.
90.16, ma'am.
90.16. So let us have the answer. 90.9 plus 90.91 plus 90.16 plus 88.79. 360.76. Tama po. So tama po siya. So that is the very reason why I have considered only 4. But when you work with worded problems, normally these worded problems would give you 21 years, 26 years, 54 years. So it is unlikely that you'll make use of the PNF relationship. So better that we validate whether the formula is working. And again, the only way we can do that is when we solve this using the gradient formula and when we try to validate results using the PNF relationship. That is the very reason bakit po apat lang. Now, given this, supposing I am the one who is expecting to receive the gradient value 100 at time 1, 110 at time 2, 120 at time 3, and 130 at time 4. Supposing I would say, what is that equivalent annual amount? That is, I do not wish to receive gradient values, but I wish to receive equal annual amount. But of course, since we do have in the first sub cash flow diagram as an annuity value, let us try to come up with an A value. Lalagyan lang natin ng konting pagkakaiba. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let us have this as A prime so that we can simply set the difference between the first A in the first sub cash flow diagram. So I will just have it as A prime, or you can make use of any other symbol to simply see the difference between the two. So since we have computed for the value of P as 360.76, then we can already solve for the value of A prime. That is A prime is equivalent to P I 1 plus I raised to N, 1 plus I raised to N minus 1. Siya yung capital recovery factor, no? Yung prime po, again, pang-distinguish lang siya. So we have 360.76. We have 0.1, 1.1 raised to 4, 1.1 raised to 4 minus 1. Again, you are just asking, if I am expecting to receive gradient values and I'd rather that I get equal annual amounts, what is that amount be? So substituting value, it yielded 360.76. Then we simplify. So 1.1 raised to 4. So this is 0.4641. Babalik na rin lang. Times 0.1. 0.14641 divided by 0.4641 times 360.76. That is 113.81. So what does 113.81 means? This value is equivalent to the original cash flows gradient series. That is, instead of receiving 100, 110, 120, and 130, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively, one may wish to receive the same amount for 4 years at a value 113.81. So the question is, ang haba naman ng solution. Is there a simple way? The answer is yes. If the worded problem would ask for annual equivalent amount, nothing has been mentioned about finding a p-value, hinahanap mo lang annual equivalent amount. That is, eto siya. Ito na ang ang gusto mo. So you need not pass through finding A given P, then finding G given P. So pwede mo na pong hanapin yung annual equivalent amount. How do we compute for that? A here, o gamitin na rin natin na A prime, is given by the formula value at time 1 plus when gradient is increasing minus if gradient is decreasing. So this is G 1 over I minus N 1 plus I raised to N minus 1. So substituting value at time 1 or the base value is 100 plus 10. So this is 1 over 0.1 minus 4, 1.1 raised to 4 minus 1. So this becomes 100 plus 10. This is 10 minus 1.1 raised to 4 minus 1. 4 divided by the answer, 8.6188. Most of the undergraduate students, I have seen correct substituted values, but pagdating ng final answer, nagmali. Kasi inad ang 100 plus 10. So here we observe NDAS. Hindi po pwedeng i-combine. I-multiply po muna bago mag-combine. Times 10. This is 100 plus 13.81. So we have 113.81. So 113.81, pareho na po. 113.81. I call that the shortcut version. Any question now? So yan na po ang uniform arithmetic. Tanong po ba?
Ma'am Helen?
Yes po.
Ma'am, in case po pwede na kaming dumiretso doon sa shortcuts.
Depende ma'am sa tanong ng problem.
Okay ma'am.
Usually kasi po, hindi mo naman ito isosolve ng ganito lang. in the examination, all problems of e-eco are worded problems. Kaya ang tanong ng mga bata, ba kasing Tagalog yan, ma'am? Kaya kami nahirapan kung ano yung sinasabi sa English. Ang sagot po, wala. Wala naman akong nakitang textbook. So, tapusin na po natin yung geometric kasi sabi dyan, matatapos na ang meeting in 10 minutes. Wala na pong tanong? Pwede nyo pong i-screenshot. Sir Abing, wala pong tanong?
Wala naman po, ma'am. Tinatry ko lang pong understand yung mga equation po dun sa ano. Sa
Miss
grade.
Aranyas?
So far, wala naman po.
Basta ng mga inhinyero, wala naman yan masyado. Okay. Punta na po tayo sa geometric progression. Ano ba yun? Ba't laging yellow? So we have geometric. Ay, hindi ko pa rin napalitan. So geometric progression is when an increase in value is characterized by a percentage. So halimbawa, we also consider 4 years, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ang tip po ng geometric curve, unlike ang arithmetic linear. So supposing G is 10%. So if the base value is 100, value at time 1 would be 100 plus 10% of 100. So this becomes 110. The value at time 3 will then become 110 plus 10% of 110. This is 121. And for time 4, that will be 121 plus 10% of 121. So this is 133.1. So we ask the value of P. In the geometric progression, there are 3 cases. Actually, hindi naman define na siya yung case 1, siya yung case 2, siya ang case 3. But the expectation is that since we would be working with 2 percentages, it is likely that we would have these 3 cases. But this case 1 is, shall we say, I is greater than G. Case 2 is where I is equivalent to G. And case 3 is where I is less than G. That is, we have to consider the relationship of the time value of money and the gradient value. So for this, we would compute for the G prime. Some books would have the I subscript G, any other symbol that would represent the relationship of the time value of money and the gradient value or the gradient percentage, pareho lang po. So I am using the G prime. This is 1 plus I over 1 plus G minus 1. So in our particular example, supposing we say I is 12%. So if we would be computing for the G prime, this would be 1.12 over 1.1 minus 1. So this is 0.01818. So how then do we find the value for P? P is given by the formula value at time 1 over 1 plus G. Again, if the gradient is increasing in value, we would make use of the 1 plus G. If the gradient is decreasing in value, we would have 1 minus G. Then we would have this as 1 plus the G prime raised to n minus 1, the G prime 1 plus the G prime raised to n. If you try to take a look at the formula, you may notice that we are using the same annuity formula. The only difference is the inclusion of the denominator for the value at time 1, 1 plus G, because the value at time 1 would normally be taken as the A value. Now 1 plus G is the only thing new here. In the use of the factor 1 plus G prime raised to n, pareho din po siya ng annuity. The only difference is that in the annuity, we make use of the I. Now it is replaced by the G prime. So we would have value at time 1 is 100. This is 1.1. We would have 1.01818 raised to 4 minus 1, 0.01818, 1.01818 raised to 4. So this we would have, I think it's 90.9 ata ito. Gawin ko na lang 100 divided by 90.91. Then we would have 1.01818 raised to 4, 0.07473 times 0.01818. This is 0.019538. So 0.0741, mali. 0.07473 divided by 0.019538 times 90.91. 347.72. Paki-double check po sa inyo ha, kasi baka nagkamali ang.
Tama po, ma'am.
Okay. So we have 347.72. Again, the only way we may consider the veracity of the formula is when we check this using the PNF relationship. So we check E is 100, 1.12 negative 1 plus 110, 1.12 negative 2 plus 121, 1.12 negative 3 plus 133.1, 1.12 negative 4. So pareho po ng assignment natin kanina, pakikuha na lang. Ako yung dulo. 33.1, 1.12 to negative 4. 84.59.
Yun sa akin, ma'am, 79.72.
79.72.
0.72 po.
Sa akin po, ma'am, ano yung first one? 89.2857.
Ma'am Shell.
86.13, ma'am.
So we add plus 86.13 plus 79.72 plus 89.28. 339. Ba't ang layo? Hindi po pwedeng malayo. Uulitin po natin kung sino may error. Hindi po kasi pwedeng ganun kalayo. 339 lang. Ulitin ko ha, kasi baka ako nagkamali. Ito baka ako mali. 1.12 raised to negative 4 times 133.1. 84.59. Tama po yung sa akin. Double check po.
Yung sukay, ma'am, pigtain, ma'am. Ano po?
Ano po?
87.69.
87.69. Ito, 87.69.
110 po yun, ma'am, di ba po? 110 times
110, opo.
Opo, yun ma'am, 89.69 po. Ay,
Ay.
87.69.
Oo, ma'am, 100 ang napindot ko.
Okay lang po, wala pong problema. Ayun, 347.69. Okay lang po yung ganyan na error kasi rounding error lang yan. Yan na po siya. Pareho na po. Okay po. So may tanong po kayo?
Ma'am, pag nag-compre ba open formula?
Ay, hindi po. Ang open formula po sa compre base sa yan din po siya. Okay, solve po. Tapos, represent nyo mamaya. Diba? Ilang minuto po ang kailangan nyo? 11:31. So, 12 o'clock po. 30 minutes.